Namaste, Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Krishna, Bharat Mata Ki Jai. So, brothers and sisters, today I want to talk to you guys about Christianity. I've seen many videos and I've seen Christians, they love to say Christianity spread peacefully. Christianity is a peaceful religion and that Jesus is a loving God. But is this really true? Let me put this statement out here. Christianity is not peaceful, it's not loving, and it did not spread peacefully. Okay? And I'm going to outline this for you guys in ways that you will understand. I mean, all you have to do is refer to your laws and stuff in relation to the stories I'm going to tell you, true stories. How do I know it's true stories? I'm involved in every one of these stories, my experiences. Okay? So let me begin with my early childhood. When I used to go to school, elementary school, I used to cross this bridge under which a river ran. I'd go to school. On my way home, I'd have to cross this bridge to return home. And many times on my way coming home from school, there used to be these men on the bridge. They would threaten to throw me into the river or other students our age, right? They were having fun, scaring us as kids, right? Important word here is scaring us as kids. And we were terrified. All of us was terrified. I know I was terrified. I was really terrified. I was a young kid. These were more or less grown men threatening to throw me into a river and basically drown me. I mean, I'll be suffering, whatever. Remember, these stories are very truthful. I'm not making these things up. Okay? These men were never going to do that, right? They most likely were never going to do that. I'm survived. I don't know of any kid that they have thrown in a river. But the point is, the threat of that was so terrifying. Okay? So terrifying. So violent. That was violence. That threat was violence. That was extreme violence. Even though they have never physically hurt anyone, that threat to harm us as children was one of the most extreme forms of violence there is in this world. Okay? Why am I telling you this story? What does Christianity say? If you don't accept Jesus, you will go to hell. It's a threat and you will suffer and burn forever, for eternity. That's a terrifying threat. And this is one of the threats that they use for converting people. Okay? Christianity never spread peacefully. It was this threat, one of this most violent forms of this is one of the most in-depth and most extensive and most aggressive form of a violence is the threat to scare people, to threaten them. This is what Christianity employs. Islam employs it as well, right? The Abrahamic faith religions employ it as well. But I'm focusing specifically on Christianity because Christians love to say that their religion spread peacefully and that their religion is peaceful and it's a loving religion and Jesus is loving. But relate what I'm telling you to what the Christian says to you. They use aggressive violence. Okay? The threat of violence to spread. Okay? In the New World, the Western Hemisphere, Christianity did not spread peacefully. Natives were forced to convert. African slave bought over here basically were forced to embrace Christianity without a choice. Okay? And till today, they have embraced or ingrained this violence that they have experienced, that was meted out to them. Okay? In the Roman Empire, when I think it was Augustine that converted. Okay, he suffered, made the pagans suffer. Okay, designed policies to force them to accept Christianity and Jesus. That is violence. Christianity never spread peacefully. Any Christians that tell you that, they're lying. They are lying. Okay? Next true story. One night I was driving and on my lane, and this truck driver, he came onto the lane that I was on, and I had to jump onto the shoulder of the highway. The shoulder on the highway, there's a lane on the highway that's called the shoulder. You're not supposed to drive on that. It's really for emergency. So I had to jump onto the shoulder, move onto the shoulder on the highway to avoid getting into a collision. Okay? I had to do that. And then I told this individual at my workplace, I said, listen what happened to me. This is what happened to me. And I explained to him. Okay? This is what this guy said to me. Oh, Jesus saved you to bring you to me so I can lead you to him. And this is what Christians do. They exploit trauma. They exploit trauma to get you to convert. This is very disgusting, very low. I've met many people who have experienced trauma in their life that Christians prey upon them. This is also exploitation and violence. Mother Teresa did that in Bengal. Okay? The Congress Party isolated the Northeast, and missionaries now have exploited the Northeast, and they have become violent against India. Okay? In Northeast India. Okay? They have become violent, and they embrace violence. Christianity is not peaceful, and it has never spread peacefully, and it's not the loving religion. Okay? This guy, instead of asking if I'm well and wishing me well and all of these things, was trying to exploit the trauma that and you should also know something here. My young daughter was with me. And he was trying to exploit this to convert me. Now, I don't know how many of you know about Esther Dhanraj. Her family became Christian, converted to Christianity after her parents, her mother and father, experienced some trauma. And some Christians, Indian Christians, they exploited that. They exploited that. That is disgusting. That is disgusting. Christianity does not spread peacefully. It is not peaceful. It is not loving. They exploit trauma. They threaten violence. Okay? They threaten you with violence, eternal violence, to be burned and suffer in hell. Okay? For eternity, just for not accepting Jesus. No God is a loving God. If that's the requirement, that sounds like a dictator to me. Okay? That's two stories, okay? When I was young, the violence I experienced, and when I experienced a traumatic incident involving because my daughter could have been hurt, I could have been hurt, this guy's trying to exploit it. Third story I'm going to tell you. Remember, all these stories I'm telling you, they're truthful. I have experienced it. I am not telling you anybody's story. The one with Esther Dhanraj, she has put a video out there. Google it, contact her. She will share that story with you. You can see her sharing it. Okay. Third story. So I left my ex because of her intolerance, right? As Hindus, we are all open to other people. We don't try to convert anyone. My ex knew this before we got together. After we got together, when she found out she was pregnant, she was trying to put a lot of pressure on me to embrace Christianity so she can go brag to the church how this Hindu person, she won over him and now she won him over for Jesus. I gave up my family. I was not going to do that. Okay? I will never convert. So one time, true story again, I was going to take my kids now, plural kids, not kid, okay? I It was getting close to Diwali. I was going to take them to a Ram Mandir. And I said to her, oh, I'm going to take the kids to a Ram Mandir. And I watched this woman, a mother. She's a mother. Okay? Remember this. She's a mother. I watched this woman torment and terrify her kids, making them become scared to go to a mandir. Become terrified that they were almost on the brink of crying. This is a mother, a Christian woman, doing that to her own children. In the end, 2 of my kids were afraid. They were terrified of stepping into a Hindu mandir because they thought they were going to commit the greatest sin. How much more despicable can you be? And this is the psyche of the Christian people, the psyche of the Christian mind. And they do not understand that they are violent. They are violent. I have given you 3 true stories, and I'm willing to take any lie detector. Any lie detector I am willing to take to prove to you guys I am telling the truth. Christianity is not peaceful. It did not spread by peaceful means. It had employed threat and the threat of violence to spread. This is how it won over converts. Or if you don't believe in Jesus, you are going to go to hell and you are going to burn forever. Okay? And then there was outright violence in the Roman Empire. Rome collapsed because the Christians began, once they reached a certain number, I believe it was 30%, they started attacking the Romans. When I say the Roman people worship the Roman gods, destroying their temples, attacking them. Okay? These same Christians, they did the same thing. The Inquisition in Goa. Okay? They did the same nonsense in the Western world. They did the same thing in India. Okay? They are not peaceful. Even today, they do not spread peacefully. They have always employed the threat of violence. Okay? Look at them, how they react during Trump's run for election and even now. How they refer to other religion. That is a violent, a vile, disgusting, hateful ideology. Okay? Christianity has never been peaceful. It has never spread by peaceful means, and it will never be peaceful. And it uses and employs the threat of violence. There is an inherent threat of violence with Christianity. So do not say Christians love to believe, oh, we have spread peacefully. No, Christianity did not spread peacefully. Okay? The only religion that have truly spread peacefully is Sanatan Dharma. Okay? Because we went, wherever we went, we never tried to erase the other religion. There are, within Bharat, within India, there are many examples of syncretic coexistence between Bharat and what would have been different other religion. Notable examples in Bali and throughout Indonesia. Okay? This is the beauty of Sanatan Dharma. Okay? And what does Krishna say? He says, do not worship me if your mind is on the on a sensory subject, sensory object. You do not deceive yourself in thinking to worship him. You know, if you want to go enjoy yourself and that's what you really want to do, go do it. Okay? Go do it. Go do it. This is Sri Krishna. What does the Abrahamic faith say? If you don't worship me and accept me, you're going to hell and you're going to burn forever. And you don't get a second chance. And Dharma, in Sanatan Dharma, you get chance after chance after chance after chance after chance. Because guess what? If you're going to be eternal, you have eternity to get it right. Okay? What's a trillion? Forget a trillion years. What's a trillion? A quadrillion, a quintillion, a hexillion, a heptillion, a Google number of births compared to eternity. It's still a flash in the eye of eternity. Think about it. Why Sanatan Dharma is the best. And learn, realize, you got to see that Christianity has never been peaceful. It did not spread peacefully. I've seen these videos, and all of them, they're bragging. That's all they can do is brag, but they have to lie to themselves. They have to read, and Christians have always done this, especially the apologists. They have redefined what words mean. Okay? They say in one, the Bible is eternal and forever, but in the next sentence they redefined everything because they know if they go with the literal meaning, which is what you should do, it does not stand up. The Christians are not the only one that does this. All the Abrahamic faith does this. Okay? If they point out to me and say, well, look at your books and your texts, we know that our texts and scriptures have been adulterated. We know that. But the scriptures and the texts are not the focus. God's the focus. Okay? God's the focus. And guess what? We expect the scriptures to be lost. And before it's lost, it has to slowly change or change rapidly. So that's beside the issue. If there's something in there, we can say, okay, all we have to do is say, well, this is obviously not right. It's not compatible with a loving, caring, and a forgiving God. So this is just proof that Dharma is real. Any flaws they show in Dharma, the argument we have to use is, well, obviously somebody changed it. But they cannot claim that, because once they do, their scriptures fall apart. And the problem is that their scriptures contain a gross amount of evil, great amount of evil. Okay? And for us, while the scripture is important, using the intellect is more important. Okay? In the Abrahamic faith, you cannot use the intellect. You have to accept the scriptures as sacrosanct and undisputed and eternal. And studies after studies after studies have shown it not to be true. And within all those scriptures, there is implied violence, explicit violence, and proof that the Abrahamic faith, whether Islam, Judaism, or Christianity, it's not peaceful, and it's not a loving God, it's not a tolerant God, it's not a forgiving God. So Christianity, my all of the Abrahamic faiths, but Christianity, because I see a lot of Christians love to say Christianity spread peacefully. It has never spread peacefully. Okay? Never. In the Roman Empire, it caused the collapse of the Roman Empire. The Christians, the converts who converted to Christianity, started destroying the temples of the Roman gods. Okay? Christianity has never been peaceful. It did not spread peacefully, and it is a violent religion because it employs violence. I have seen this many times in my life, and I have given you three stories that I can 100% verify is true. One more if you incorporate the Esther Danraj one, and she can verify her story is true to you. But three stories I have given you, three truthful stories. How much more do you need? And before we go, I was talking about your laws. The threat of violence in most society, in most civilized society, the threat of violence is deemed to be violent, and you can be punished by the law. You can go to jail for threatening to harm somebody. You can go to jail for threatening to torture somebody. Okay? What my ex did to her kids, she should have been thrown in jail, and those kids should have been taken away from her. Okay? These are my own kids I'm talking about. I watched their mother mentally torment and torture them in the name of Christianity. I witnessed that with my own eyes. Until today, I speak to my kids about it and told them how I still remember it and how I hated that and how disgusting it was. And my kids can verify that for you. They can verify it. Okay? So Christianity has never been peaceful. It has never been tolerant. It's not loving, and it employs violence. Any Christian that says otherwise does not know, is dumb, or is an outright liar. With that, I take leave of you guys. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, जय श्री राम, जय श्री कृष्ण, भारत माता की जय.